Welcome to physics class. We are in unit 3, magnetism and magnetic effects of electric current. In the previous class itself I gave introduction to the lesson. Also we have up to magnetic dipole moment we have studied in the previous class. Also we have studied about aurora australis and aurora borealis, that is southern lights and northern lights, polar lights. This topic also we have covered in the previous class. We have a small problem here. The length of the bar magnet is called geometrical length, and the length of the length between the south pole and north pole, that is called as magnetic length. The entire length of the magnet is geometrical length. Geometrical length is entirely different from magnetic length. This entire length is called as this entire length is called as geometrical length, but distance between south and north pole is called as magnetic length. Distance between south and north pole of the magnet is called as magnetic length. Always there is a ratio magnetic length to geometric length. It will be 5 by 6, that is 0.833 magnetic length divided by geometrical length. 5 by 6, that is 0.833. This also we have discussed in the previous class. Also we have seen this problem. Here they are given two cases. This is first case. This is case 1 and this is case 2. In both the cases they are given a magnet of magnetic length 2L. They are given a magnet of magnetic length 2L and dipole moment Pm. We know that dipole moment Pm equal to Q into 2L. Q into 2L. Now we are going to see, if we cut the magnet into two pieces, what will happen to the dipole moment. If we cut the magnet into two pieces, what will happen to the dipole moment? That's what we are going to check. So Qm is pole strength, L is magnetic length. Qm is pole strength, L is magnetic length. Sorry, 2L is magnetic length. Qm means pole strength. Okay. Suppose take the first case. So this is the first case. Okay. We know that dipole moment equal to pole strength Qm into 2L. But if we cut the magnet like this into two pieces, means after cutting it into two pieces, the final product will have half of the strength of the initial product. The final product will have half of the magnetic strength of the initial product. Okay. The final product will have half of the pole strength of the initial product. Initially it had pole strength of Qm. Pole strength of Qm. Now it is having half of the pole strength. So substitute the pole strength value here. Okay, Qm by 2. 2 will get cancelled. Otherwise keep the 2 as it is. Just write half into Qm 2L. So this Pm is, this one is initial one. Initial pole magnet, dipole moment, sorry, initial dipole moment. This Pm is initial dipole moment. Okay, va? Okay, now we will move to case 2. If we cut the magnet into pieces like this, into two pieces like this, then the magnetic length become half. Initially it is 2L, later it will be L. Okay, magnetic length is half, but the pole strength will not change. Pole strength will not change. It will be same QM. So instead of 2L, substitute half into 2L. Instead of 2L, substitute half into 2L. Okay, half into, instead of 2L, substitute half into 2L. Took the half outside. Now you will get half of the initial dipole moment. Okay, so dipole moment will not change. Whether if you cut horizontally or if you cut vertically, dipole moment will not change. It will be same as it is. That is, it will be having half the dipole, but even whether you cut horizontally or if you cut vertically, both the case it will be having half the dipole moment. Okay. Now, pole strength. Pole strength, unit of pole strength is Newton per Tesla. Newton per Tesla. Otherwise, one more unit is there, that is ampere meter. For pole strength, QM. For pole strength unit is Newton per Tesla. Otherwise, ampere meter. So it is having some of the similar properties which we have studied in the first unit. While studying about charges, we have studied certain properties. Similarly, magnets also have certain properties. Like positive and negative charges, they attract each other. Similarly, here also, north and south pole, they attract each other. Same pole repel each other. Okay, then pole strength. Pole strength depends on the nature of the materials of magnet and the area of cross section and state of magnetization. Pole strength depends on the material of magnet. Okay, if a magnet is cut into two halves, already we have seen, then the dipole moment will be half. The dipole moment will be half. Same thing. If we cut horizontally, pole strength will be half. If we cut vertically, length will be half, but pole strength will be remaining same. Length will be half, okay, but pole strength will be remain same. At the end, if we cut it into two pieces, the polar moment will be half. So some of the characters of magnetic field lines. What is magnetic field lines? These are continuous closed curves. The direction of magnetic field line is from north pole to south pole. Don't forget, the direction of field line is north pole to south pole. That is outside the magnet. Outside the magnet, it is north pole to south pole, but inside the magnet it is south pole to north pole. So don't forget, always magnetic field line, outside the magnet it is north pole to south pole. Inside the magnet it is south pole to north pole. The direction of magnetic field at any point on the curve is drawn by drawing the tangent line. Okay. Also, magnetic field lines, they never intersect each other. For example, here if one field line goes means, then another one here, another one here. They will not intersect like this. They will not intersect like this. Okay, they will never intersect with each other. Otherwise, the magnetic compass needle would point towards two directions, which is not possible. if they interact each other means, okay. So it is not at all possible. The degree of closeness of the field lines determines the relative strength of the magnetic field. If the field lines are very close, if the field lines are very close means, then there will be more strength. If the field lines are very close means, then you will have more strength. For example, near the edge, like this, edge near the edge of the pole, near the edge of the pole near the edge of the pole field lines are very close. They are very close. You could see only black. That means they are very close. If they are very close means, at that place the magnetic field strength will be more. But if you go to the center, like these places, like these places, the field lines are somewhat away from each other. They are not close to each other, so the strength will be somewhat weak, okay, comparing to the edge. At the top the strength will be somewhat less. Next, magnetic flux. The number of magnetic field lines crossing per unit area is called magnetic flux. Mathematically, the magnetic flux through a surface area A in a uniform magnetic field is defined as the magnetic flux density can also be defined as a number of magnetic field lines crossing unit area kept normal to the direction of line of force. Okay. For example, if magnetic field lines, these are all magnetic field lines, okay, these red lines are magnetic field lines. How many lines are crossing the sheet? That is called magnetic flux. How many lines are crossing the particular area where you want to measure magnetic flux? You want to measure magnetic flux in an area, and how many lines, how many magnetic lines, field lines are crossing the particular area? That is called as flux. Okay, that is called as flux. So magnetic flux equal to magnetic field into area. Magnetic field into area. Suppose the plane which you kept is somewhat inclined like this, then the angle of inclination is needed, BA cos theta. If it is not inclined, it is normal means just BA, that's all. B means magnetic field, A means area of the plane. Suppose if the plane is inclined or the magnet is inclined, then angle of inclination should be noted down, and it will be mentioned in the formula BA cos theta. If theta is 0, then magnetic flux will be maximum, because cos 0 means 1. So it will have maximum flux. Suppose if the plane is uh, parallel to the field lines, suppose if the plane field lines are crossing like this, and I kept the plane like this. This is just parallel to the this sheet is just parallel to the lines. So none of the line is passing through the sheet. Because the angle is 90 degree. That's why the value is minimum. Magnetic flux is 0. Okay. Suppose if the magnetic field is not uniform over the surface, then you have to integrate the formula. Suppose if the magnetic field is not uniform means, then you have to integrate it. And for magnetic flux, the unit is Weber. unit is Weber. Also we can tell Maxwell. Also we can use this unit Maxwell. Weber or Maxwell. 1 Weber, the dimensional formula is meter into mass into length square per Tesla square per ampere. That is the unit for Weber unit. Okay, actually 1 Weber is equal to 1 mass into length square into divided by Tesla square divided by ampere square. 1 Weber is also equal to 10 power 8 Maxwell. 1 Weber is equal to 10 power 8 Maxwell. Now, magnetic flux density, its unit is Weber per meter square. Weber per meter square. Magnetic flux density Weber per meter square. The magnetic flux density can also be defined as the number of magnetic field lines crossing a unit area kept normal to the direction of line of force. One more example for magnetic flux. Here X and Y are two planar strips. Okay. The number of magnetic field lines passing through area of strip X is 2. Therefore, the flux passing through area X is 2 Weber. Similarly, the magnetic field lines passing through the area of strip Y is 4 Weber. Next topic. Uniform magnetic field and non-uniform magnetic field. In Earth's surface, we are facing uniform magnetic field. In Earth's surface, we are facing uniform magnetic field. Wherever we move, the magnetic field of the Earth is same for us because we are on the Earth. Okay, but if you go away from Earth means the field lines will vary. Magnetic field will vary. If you take a magnet means, if you take a small magnet, uh, if you go closer, you can feel more magnetic strength, field strength. If you go little away, you feel less magnetic field strength. So here the magnetic field is not uniform. Okay, if you take a small magnet means, in that case magnetic field is not uniform. Non-uniform magnetic field. Magnetic field is said to be non-uniform if the magnitude or direction or both varies at all points. Example, magnetic field of a bar magnet. In bar magnet, in every point, the magnitude and direction both varies. Okay, it is more different. Okay, we'll move to the next topic. Coulomb's inverse square law of magnetism. Coulomb's law. I hope you have heard this term already. Coulomb's law. Where you heard? Try to remember. Yes, we have heard this term in first unit. Coulomb's law. We're studying about static charges. We have used this Coulomb's law. The same law is also useful for magnetism. The force of attraction or repulsion between two magnetic poles is directly proportional to the product of their pole strength and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. We have nearly studied the same formula in the first unit also. Nearly same formula. If you want to know the force, it might be attractive force or repulsive force. If you bring two magnets near, you want to find out the attractive force or repulsive force, then this is the definition for that. Coulomb's inverse square law. What did it say? It say the attractive force or repulsive force is directly proportional to the product of the pole strength. Suppose if you bring two north nearer, it is having magnetic strength of QMA, and the another magnet, it is having QMB. So this is the product of magnetic strength, pole strength, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Also it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. That's why F is F proportional to QMA into QMB divided by R square. QMA, pole strength of magnet A, QMB, pole strength of magnet B, R, distance between the two poles. Okay. So to remove this proportionality, they are using proportionality constant K. To remove this proportionality, they are using proportionality constant K. So here they are given a small derivation, very small derivation. Magnetic field at a point at a point along the axial line of the magnetic pole. Magnetic field at a point along the axial line of the pole. So in the north pole and in the south pole, இன்னும் கொஞ்ச நேரம் கழிச்சு வருவாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அப்படியா அப்படிங்களா? அண்ணே ஒரு 5 நிமிஷம் வந்து இதை மட்டும் முடிச்சு. So here they are given a bar magnet with the south and north pole. Okay, they have a point C. So at this point, the force, it may be attractive force or repulsive force because of south pole faced by the point C. Also we have to find out the force because of the north pole. It might be attractive force or repulsive force. First let us take north pole. Let us consider north pole is attracting. So the formula is mu by 4 pi into Qm divided by R minus, because the distance between N and C is R minus L. Distance between N and C is R minus L. That's why they have used it. Do you understand? That's why they have used it. Okay. Now second, because of south pole, it is having repulsive force. Because of south pole, it is having repulsive force. So the distance between south pole and point C is here, R plus L. The distance is R plus L. R plus L. Okay. That's why they are given minus, because it is repulsive, no? That's why they are given minus symbol. Minus mu naught. Mu naught is the permeability in air. Okay. Mu naught by 4 pi into Qm by R plus L the whole square into I vector. Now add both the forces. If you add both the forces, mu naught by 4 pi is a common term. That's why they have taken out. Qm is a common term. That's why they have taken out. Remaining 1 by R minus L the whole square minus 1 by R plus L the whole square. Okay, va? A minus B the whole square minus A plus B the whole square. So now if you minimize it, you will get mu naught into 2R divided by 4 pi into Qm into 2L divided by R square minus L square the whole square. Okay. Now next step, bring the 2r inside. Now r square minus l square the whole square is more or less equal to r power 4, because l value is very less. L value is very less. Okay, so r power 4, in the numerator you have r, so if you cancel each other means you'll get r power cube, r power 3, r cube. Okay, va? So dipole moment will be equal to dipole moment into I vector. That's why they have mentioned just dipole moment PM. So this is the final equation. Mu naught into 2 divided by 4 pi r cube. Okay. Here in this step they have cross multiplied it. That's why what you will get? You will get r minus l the whole square. Here r plus l the whole square. Okay, va? R plus l the whole square means r square plus l square plus 2rl you will get. Here you will get in this side you will get r square plus l square plus 2rl. In this side you will get r square plus l square minus 2rl. Okay, so r square plus l square plus 2rl minus r square plus l square minus 2rl. So this minus will get inside and it will become minus r square minus l square, and this minus become plus. So ultimately we will get 4 2rl. Okay, va? So finally if you minimize you will get this equation. So we have seen magnetic field at a point along the axial line of the magnetic dipole. Okay, we will see the remaining things in the next video. Suppose if you didn't understand this particular step means I am going to repeat it again. Okay, suppose if you didn't understand means please listen. Here we have, in this step we have 1 by r minus l square minus 1 by r plus l square. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to take like this r plus, I am going to take this as like common thing, r plus l the whole square minus r minus l the whole square. Okay, this particular bracket I am explaining, this particular bracket. Okay. Now in the denominator we will have r minus l the whole square into r plus l the whole square. So the denominator it's looking like a minus b the whole square into a plus b the whole square. Okay, a minus b into a plus b. A plus b into a minus b. What is the answer? A plus b into a minus b means a square minus b square, like that we can tell. Okay. a minus b into a plus b means we can tell a square minus b square. So similarly the same thing r minus l into r plus l means r minus l into r plus l means we can tell r square minus l square. Okay, suppose if you have r minus l into r plus l means we can say r square minus l square, but we have the whole square here. Here we have whole square, here also we have whole square, so we can write, we can include that same whole square this side. Okay, now this numerator is having r minus l the whole r plus l the whole square. R plus l the whole square means r square plus l square plus 2rl. Similarly here r minus l the whole square, that means r square plus l square minus 2rl. So this minus will go in and the equation will become minus r square minus l square plus 2rl. So finally together we can write 2rl plus 2rl. Okay, this side 2rl plus 2rl means 4rl 4rl. Okay, instead of writing 4rl in this step they have wrote 2l into 2r for some simplification purpose. For some simplification purpose, instead of writing 4rl they have written 2r into 2l. That's all. I hope you understand. Okay, this is how it came. Remaining things we will see in the next class.